Hi everyone. So I decided to come outside on my lunch break and just connect with nature a little bit, and something just really hit me very profoundly. For the past couple months, I was dating someone who I was very in tune with energetically, and as any type of individual in a relationship, that could be a very dangerous place to be, depending on where they're at. And unfortunately, my partner is someone that's been through a lot of traumatic and painful experiences that shaped their entire love language. If we go by attachment styles, she self-described as a chaotic, disorganized, fearful attachment style, which usually goes hand in hand with borderline personality disorder. And I'm not qualified to diagnose anyone, but a lot of the being good one moment and not the next, being hot and cold, this dynamic very much fits the description of BPD and also this attachment style. But that's not necessarily my dilemma or anyone else's but her own. What was my dilemma was I was tuning to that, and I was allowing the fear, the overthinking, the anxiety to then become my own. And just sitting in all the stillness, I realized that, like, for a long time I was just allowing myself. It's hard to not kick yourself for allowing yourself to fall into these patterns. But in doing so, I realized that my attachment style was the anxious attachment style. I don't have a lot of anxiety in most of my day-to-day, most of my friendships, or even in family. But in romantic partnerships, I find myself constantly tuning so sensitively to their energy that if they're not okay, then I'm not okay. If they're at peace, then I'm at peace. But if not, then I have to do everything I possibly can to make it better. And if you're watching this, maybe you also feel something similar when you're in a relationship with someone like that. But know that it's not your responsibility to fix anything with them. And to not allow, as I was allowing, the confusion of intensity with authenticity. Because I was even told in confrontation with my ex that the intensity was authenticity. That this is truly authentically who they were. And what it actually was confusing your pain, or specifically her pain, with the reality of who they were. And our pain is real, and what we've gone through is real. But to fully identify with it is to relinquish our true authenticity, which is really just awareness. It's really just experience. It's not like, we are not our pain, we are not our past. It's a part of our stories, it's a part of our paths. But like, to lose yourself, like, imagine like you're on your path and you are firmly in your frame, and eventually you meet someone comes along, and you guys hit it off right away. Energetically, romantically, everything is aligned. But then as soon as things start falling into place, there's cracks. And so even though I'm the type of person that would prefer to have someone walk with me rather than conform to me and vice versa, once the cracks came through, because I'm not continuing to hold firm in my own frame, and I'm not willing to confront the fear of loss, I'm not willing to confront the fear of losing something that I feel like I'm investing a lot of myself in, a lot of my time, a lot of my energy. Because I'm not willing to take that L, I then start to peel back layers of who I am. And this is something that I've been doing for the past few months in order to help salvage this relationship. But is the sacrifice of who we are, the sacrifice of the path that we're on, the thing that we're feeling called to, or just the authenticity of who we are, whether it be like our pain, our wounds, or our cringy awkwardness or our humor, to subconsciously feel, as I did, that all of that is worth throwing away in order to preserve or fix something that ultimately has nothing to do with me and has nothing to do with you either, is a betrayal of ourselves. This self-betrayal is not, it's not an easy pill to swallow, but once you actually realize what you're doing, things start to finally come into like a full, clear, like, picture of, I'm throwing myself away. I'm losing myself in spite of myself. I'm helping to enable the continuation of this almost like neurotic type of love. This love that's fully dependent on self-sacrifice. And authentic love doesn't demand self-sacrifice. Authentic love doesn't demand that we strip away layers of who we are in order to better fit to and conform to the other. Authentic love just is. And it's just easy. I've even, when I finally decided to leave the relationship that I was in, the very first conversation I had with someone was with someone who was much older and has been through a divorce and everything like that. And she basically told me, like, I know it's a cliche, but I also thought the same way, that I really need to work to make love work. I need to put in the work. And I think as a creative, because I'm a musician first and foremost, but like I'm a creative, and I feel a lot of you are creatives too, we feel like we need to earn love. We feel like we need to put in the work to feel worthy enough for it. But authentic love doesn't demand any of that. Authentic love just shows up and is what it is. And just hearing that from this person just gave me the clarity that I had just made the right decision for myself. Because I think a lot of us, unfortunately, even if we have the courage to make the decision to walk away, we'll still feel like we miss them. We'll still feel like we're second guessing, or if we really made the right decision, why do I feel this lack? Why do I feel this emptiness? Why do I feel so alone? And what I learned is that that's just evidence of how attached and dependent I was on my partner for that sense of security, for that feeling of stability. And that's why while I was in this relationship with this person, even though we were apart at times, why she would get in her head and everything would be like turmoil and crazy for her, why I would feel that too, even though where I was, like, everything's peaceful, everything is like easy, everything's chill. I was just so attuned to my partner for that stability that I was feeling unstable while in the midst of a very stable period in my own life, in spite of the relationship. And so I felt like while walking around out here and sensing that peace and that calm and realizing, wow, like, I really chose my own peace over fear, that even though it was an uncertain decision, and months later, there's still been moments of, like, you know, missing them or feeling like maybe I didn't make the right decision, or, you know, I could have done this better, I could have done that. Just walking around this is just like, it made it so obvious that, like, I made the right decision. And I felt like, you know, maybe sharing that with whomever's watching right now, I don't know, like, maybe you could take away something important from this. And, you know, if you have, you know, write down below in the comments, I choose my peace over fear. And hopefully you're able to make the same decision for yourself. Choose your path. Choose the actual love of your life, which is hard to admit and hard to feel in the moment, but it's truly who you are. You are the love of your life. Your path is the love of your life. What you're here to do and be and embody and become. It was never another person. That's romanticism. That's Disney stuff that we grew up on as kids, thinking that, like, oh, another will complete us. But true authentic love only comes in wholeness. So hopefully with that said, you're able to choose your peace over fear. And I hope to see you in the next video.